All right, and we are good to go.
Okay. Well, that's pretty good. We're at just about starting time. So at 4:32, I'll call this meeting to order. Item number 1 on our agenda is adoption of minutes. Everyone have a chance to take a look at the minutes. Any corrections or comments on the minutes from anyone? Oh, hearing none, I would ask for a mover for the minutes, please.
Yeah, I know, I was there.
Anyone who's at the meeting? Okay, thank you. Jen moves. And a seconder?
Sure.
Susan? All in favor? Okay, declaration of conflict of interest. Anyone have anything to declare? None noted. Number 3, adoption of agenda. Everyone seen the agenda? May I have a mover, please? Robert, seconded by Chris. All in favor? Number 4, business arising. Virginia's turn.
Yeah, watching park development updates. So the majority of the equipment is in at Rosedale Park. So all the large play structures have been put in. They're continuing to work on the pathway and the area's prepped for the swing. So they're working through that piece. The berm for the tobogganing hill has been expanded, so that'll have to get seeded at some point. And yes, we're moving along there. Now that this piece is wrapping up, we're going to start working on the RFP for the additional components that'll be added in. So that'll, pardon?
What are they?
We're hoping to do a zip line type feature, yeah, as well as hopefully some other pieces that would fit in for sensory components. Yeah, so that will be happening. That RFP process will be triggering sometime in the next few weeks, and that will be planned for a spring installation. At Elliott, work on the bocce courts is going to be proceeding this fall. So we received some grant funding through a seniors community grant to do some shaded picnic tables, as well as some training for the seniors, and then the additional pieces, redoing the bocce courts there. So trying to create an outdoor hub for the
In the
seniors.
existing spot where they are.
In the existing
Yeah.
location, yes. Just trying to think what other, we work with the engineering, RFP went out, so the engineering and kind of background documentation is being done for the splash pad in the west end. So once we have that back, we'll be going out to RFP for the splash pad components, and again, targeting an install next year, spring, summer. And Anna Marinelli's pretty much wrapped up. We have a little bit of painting to finish off, and that location should be pretty much wrapped up by this fall. So, Brent, did you have anything to add?
No, I think you covered all that off that topic. I can go and jump in on the other topics if there's no questions, but I'll wait to see if there's any questions before I do that. Mr. Chair.
Brent, I know we have a change with the Rocky Epitro field with the lighting situation. We're currently waiting on the brackets. So we've had things pushed back a couple weeks, but still plan on installing this fall.
What's that, bro?
So the lighting, we're replacing all the lighting at Rocky G. However, the lights came in, but the actual brackets that hold the light at the top of the pole, they've been delayed, which is pushing back the installation date, but they should be coming in the next few weeks.
Okay, I don't think there's any other questions or comments. Brent, if you want to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I'll first give the update on the Twinpad. So we're well into the build right now. I would say approximately 70% of the way there. We're still looking at a substantial completion date, late January of 2023. Right now, they're focusing on masonry. That's almost 100% complete. You'll see on the building if you're out near there on the sides of the building. They're working on insulation, drywall, and taping. There's also electricians and plumbers are heavy into both those areas of addressing the services, HVAC work, painting, and Simcoe's working on the infrastructure within the refrigeration room. So that's going quite well. We're also getting the frames done for the bowls for the windows, and there's also spray foaming for the walking track for fire spray. So that's kind of the main update on the Twinpad. We're happy with the progress. Things are staying on track right now, and we hope to continue that way through to the end of the build. And then during the transition, what we'll have to do is that once this facility is commissioned, that means that the old facility at Meakin will then no longer be able to use. You can't have both facilities operate at the same time. So once you decide to change over, you must change over. So we'll be communicating more as we get along, as we get closer, and things that'll transpire closer to the grand opening. And on that, we're also doing a public art component that Virginia and the team are working on as well, where there was a call for artists with that. We had a bunch of submissions, and that was shortlisted to 5, and now we're going to be evaluating those submissions as well for the art piece within the building. So that's quite exciting there. And I'm not sure if you want to add anything further on that, Virginia, for that component.
No, I don't think so. I think it's been the first time we've been through the process in a while, so it's it'll be exciting to have the art pieces installed and working through the other components as well. So this is the project that Brent is talking about is just one component. The other piece that we'll be working on is actually the move of the Sports Hall of Fame to its new home at that site. So that's will be a big project when we move in. Yeah, we're excited. So it's definitely going to be a nice addition. And then we're also working on some other components within the area. Lumo Play is one of them. I think I spoke about that before. So it's an actual interactive component where we can switch out the types of games the kids can play. So it's projected onto the floor. So they can be playing hockey, they can be playing soccer, it could be, kicking snowflakes. So we can actually mix that up and marry. So it'll actually be an interactive piece for the kids at the facility. So there'll be some really nice additions there. And so we're working through that right now.
One of the exciting things is they actually started pouring the pad today for the smaller, or not smaller practice week. I mean, smaller in the sense of seating. It's the same size rink, but the practice rink is getting its pad poured today.
Good news. Any comments or questions? That's going to be a wonderful asset to our facility. Item, moving on with our agenda, item 4.3, the plaza. Every day I drive by, it's a little different.
Yeah.
So we're working away.
Yeah, thanks, Dean. Just on that structure right there, there's a few main things that are happening right now. A lot of the infrastructure has already been put in place for the change building that services both the interactive fountain and the skating pad in the winter. So you'll see some steel being erected there shortly. It's already commenced. Underground services, which they're quite substantial, are continuing throughout the site. And you'll notice there's actually been some curb work that's been performed. There's one that's real visible right beside the Tim Horton drive-through right now. And we're prepping for a concrete pour. And further extension of this, not necessarily on the agenda, but adjacent to that is the future home of the mill market within the Brock Street property. So that project has been given support to move forward. So Ruscio Construction was the successful proponent there, and they're going to be on site shortly, and you'll start to see work commence there as well on that project.
Thank you, Brent.
Thank you.
Any comments or questions about that? Okay, item number 5, our subcommittee task force updates. Yari's jumped in with sleeves rolled up for Sports Hall of Fame. Yeah, we're all set for that, Yari?
Yeah, so we have everything in motion for the October 12th ceremony. We've had 62 people RSVP. We've had our master's ceremonies booked. We've had our caterers booked. So now it's just the nitty-gritty of setting everything up on the 12th and having it run.
It's great.
Just a quick question, point of clarity, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Brent.
Yari, just on the Master of Ceremonies, just for introductions, that you'd send a note there on that. Just who's going to be doing the Master of Ceremonies?
Yeah, so our Master of Ceremonies is Jim Fitzpatrick. So
Okay.
he'll be doing the emceeing for us at the ceremony.
Thank you.
Hope to see you all there. Item number 5.2 on subcommittee is our stack. Stack finally did get to meet again. It was pretty much in person. We had a fairly good turnout. I'd like to report that there's new reps for both for the VTA, Voyager Trail Association, Sioux Naturalists. APH has appointed a new rep, and of course Andre is representing Sioux Cycling. At our meeting, the VTA reported their membership really got a bump and started to increase when COVID happened. People were hiking more and doing more things, and it's still continuing. Mark was saying that they're very pleased how their membership has increased. In September, they ran a hike leader course, and this is an Ontario accreditation. Ontario hike leader. They trained 6 new hike leaders, and these hike leaders are trained in liability and doing hikes safely and things like that. So it just shows that they're robust and very healthy with their club. The Sioux Naturalists are planning to refurbish their Pumpkin Point viewing platform. I don't know that you're familiar with it, but they have a number of bird viewing platforms. One that we know very well is the one that's down at Bellevue Park, but there's one at Pumpkin Point, Echo Bay, and there's actually one at Topsail Island. But anyway, they're working on that. The Sioux Cycling Club has had a pretty busy summer. They're finally getting started on their single track trail. They raised over $100,000 from the community for their single track trail project. They're still a little shy of some money. They're looking for other means of getting some money. It's a 3-kilometer trail. The construction was planned to begin at the first part of, or actually a week and a half ago. There was some derailments there, but they're planning to start again on October 11th. And then they've had 2 successful programs this summer, the cycling club. They had their kids shredding single track. Their spring program had 109 participants, and their fall kids shredding single track has 75 participants. And they could have more participants, but they can't get enough volunteers to take care of the kids. But it's very successful. The age group they target there is 8 to 14. And on Sunday, this past Sunday, October 2nd, they hosted Take a Kid Mountain Biking Day. They had 70 kids registered. A lot of the kids came as families, so there was many more people involved. There was over 200 hot dogs served. They had marshmallows to roast, and at the same time, the kinsmen were running Take a Kid fishing down in the pond. So like Hiawatha was really busy at wall-to-wall parking. So it was really good to see all that activity going on out there. Basically, with other stack news, the transportation or active transportation master plan is still being worked on. The improvements they wanted to do on the hub trail are not going to happen this year. Hopefully they'll happen next spring, but there are a lot of things being planned that way.
What are those improvements?
They're just doing some realignment at some parts of the hub trail. It's quite complicated, Robert, so I won't try to explain it to you, but mainly, at the corner where the Bridge Plaza area,
Oh, yeah.
they need to have a better sign. People get lost and turned around,
Oh, yeah.
and that's their main focus. So they have a plan, and they had hoped to do it this year, but the funds are not available just yet.
About Hiawatha, signage, like to direct people to the falls. It's not very well done, let's just say. And it was one of my friends that we hike with. I'm one of those COVID hikers, and we continue to do. I'm missing today at Robertson Cliffs, but other than that, I walk the dog for an hour.
Sure.
So, but no, she always keeps on giving me tidbits. Oh, yeah, you're on that committee, do this, do that. So one of the suggestions she had was the signage directing people to the falls could be better.
Yeah, that would be up to the kinsmen
That's
to
what I
do
told
that,
her.
and they try pretty hard. But
That's what I told her. It's not a city.
and actually, on Sunday, you couldn't drive to the falls. They were stopping people. They were walking down. There's so many people involved in the fishing derby. So it's good to see.
The other thing is, I guess she got an email about the new trail, the bike single track trail Finn Hill.
Yes?
Yeah, she likes it. She says it's been revised.
Mhm.
What's all happened there? Because it's supposed to start way back in the spring. Is it because of the lack of the money?
They were actually going to start 2 weeks ago. And there was someone up here working, but unfortunately that person passed away.
Oh,
So basically there was a little kerfuffle and they haven't had another company representative come up and they're planning to come back to work on Tuesday after Thanksgiving with their equipment and things. So
yeah. No, she's helping with the realignment, I guess. I guess it's a little farther. She backs on, she lives on Parkview,
okay,
so it's
Sure.
right up there. Yes, you won't even notice it.
any other questions at all? All right, item number 6.
So just 6.1, is just a reminder, so the term for this CRAC committee and all committees of council is up this year. So if anybody's interested, the new application period will be opening up in November. So everyone that's interested will have to reapply this year in November. So that'll be coming out following the election at some point from the clerk's office. So
I would encourage everyone in the committee. I think we have a great group of people here that be nice to see you again next year.
Mr. Chair, can I just bring up something? I don't know, just under new business, maybe. City-run youth sports. So I've been getting a lot of folk in and around my age group with young children who know I'm on the committee or saying, we can't get our kid into anything. One of the most recent ones was swimming. And I know that we're having a shortage of lifeguards. I read about that. I'm just curious if that's on the radar here. I mean, personally, I've dealt with it with my kids. We tried a lot of, and I can only speak for city-run activities, right? There's a lot of other activities that are volunteer-based from community individuals, which is great. But because our population is getting so much bigger, there's a lot more children coming, right? So it's not the usual, we can get into everything anymore. So maybe more of just a question than anything, if that's something that's been.
So, and Brent can speak to this as well. So on the lifeguard side, we definitely do have a lifeguard shortage.
Right.
We started already last year, looking at ways that we can try to boost up our pool of lifeguards. So we started offering all the courses for free
I saw that.
to remove that barrier to potentially getting lifeguards. So that was one of the things that we started a while ago, hoping to be able to gain more lifeguards. So in swimming, obviously, it's very strict as far as the ratios
Sure.
you have to maintain based off of swim level. So
Sure.
that becomes one of our challenges. We're doing outreach to colleges, universities, and really trying to, see who's out there. We've been reaching out to past employees to see if they might,
Right.
come back, but a lot of them have moved on and have full-time jobs. So there's definitely, it's on, and we've been looking at ways to try to do it. But if, all the articles, there are lifeguard shortages across Canada. There's articles coming out of every municipality that's running into the same challenges. So just as COVID has created challenges with staffing across the board for other places, it's even harder because you have to go through a whole series of courses to be qualified to do so. So that's definitely one of the challenges. That swimming is pretty much one of the only programs that the city does direct delivery on. All the other programs are run through different organizations, whether it's hockey, soccer, ringette, they all are run through different entities that utilize our facilities.
Okay.
So
Thanks for the clarification.
yeah, so that's it, but it's we do offer other things that we've been trying to do to provide. So at the NCC on PD days, now that we're kind of back in full swing, and Christmas break, we're offering drop-in times, so families can go utilize the facility, participate. We also offer sensitive times, so we work with the Autism Association to have a quiet time for the families that may benefit from that type of service. So we are trying to kind of broaden within what we have from a staffing standpoint. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Robert?
Yeah, he said something that triggered my memory, children, and I haven't been down, to be honest with you, down at Bellevue Park in the last maybe 2 months. has the playground equipment been repaired? Some of it is blocked off. I mean, we talked about it before, but I know it was, when I was there 2 months ago, it was do not use, blah, 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 you know, and it had like wood, plywood. You know, to
Was
prevent-
it particular piece?
Well,
haven't
it's
had-
not on the second, it's not on the one, the sensory one, it's not the original.
I don't know. I haven't had any phone calls from parks that there, or from public in general.
I
that
just
there was
thought,
any
I
issues.
just thought like, you know, everything else, shortage of parts, supply chain issues. I
Yeah.
just wondered if you, so you don't know anything about it. then?
I haven't had any phone calls or concerns that were raised. They do.
So if I-
Definitely. take
I
some
was
time.
there last week and the sign is still up.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah. The
Yeah, and I-
sign's still up that it's blocked off.
Yeah, and I'm gonna guess it's probably,
Not available for the replacement part.
yeah. Yeah, and it's definitely, I know it was taking time to get pieces in.
Yeah,
Everything's got a lot longer delay times, so, but I can follow up with our card staff to see what the issue is with that particular piece.
One more last question, it's really not to do with maybe Parks and Rec, but maybe we could trigger somebody or Brent, maybe. You know, I'm a Rotarian. I was asked this question when I was the president 3 years ago, when I was a centennial president. Lincoln Lauda came up to me to interview me and he says, are you ever gonna get that archway clean? So I mentioned it to Margaret way back, maybe 2 or 3 times, but it's still not clean or painted. Is it ever gonna get done? Maybe, where's Brent? Can you answer that, or? It's not I know it's not Parks and Rec, but it triggered my mind today.
Yeah, I think Yari, who's sitting right across from me right now, could follow up with Travis Reed probably on that. In particular, what do they mean not clean? Because part
Yeah,
of it's
it's-
part of it's sandstone structure and part of it's the steel that's up there. So if you're talking with regards to maintenance or painting and that would be something that we'd have to follow up on. And I see Virginia must have some insight into this because her hand's up. So
It's also designated, so it's also falls into heritage as well, so anything done to it will have to go through the heritage committee.
Yeah, because it's all the droppings from the seagulls. That's what's
Yeah.
making it dirty.
Yeah, if it's just the cleaning to wash that off, then that doesn't necessarily.
Somebody can
heritage,
take,
but
maybe you
painting,
can trigger somebody to take a look at it and see what they can do. If it's just cleaning, let's do it.
yeah, that would, we can follow up.
I'll ask Travis.
Parks.
to see if they're-
But any painting would have to go through the heritage committee first, if they're looking at painting the structure.
Yeah.
Or the metal.
Because, you know, I mean, every time they do, you watch TV interviews, that's in the background. It's an icon of our city, you know, that, and I know I'm a Rotarian, but really and truly, you know, I wasn't part of that put that arch up in 38 or 37. But I mean, it's been renovated or restored, I think in 207. And I bet, I have no idea. I wonder if it's ever been cleaned since 207, you know what I mean? It's probably time. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
All right. Chris, just for your swimming thing, I was at the pool. I have a granddaughter who's swimming competitively. And there was a large group, 8 or 10 people taking the lifeguard training in the corner. And it was, I was happy to see that. And it was quite diverse and moving. So, I mean, they're working on it and trying to make it happen, but there is an incredible shortage of that stuff. And it's throughout the workplaces and everything.
And just to build off what Dean's saying, there's also minimum ages too, right? So a lot of the
Right.
times we try to get them in early, get them trained, they can
Right.
take the course, but then there's a certain age in which they're allowed to do different types of guarding versus instructing. and
Correct.
Everything else, so.
Okay, 6.2 on new business upcoming events.
Things are starting to wind down for the season. so-
Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
That's upcoming.
Well, what about the skating trails gonna come on, right?
yes,
Yeah.
so. yeah.
Winter, we gotta think winter.
We are thinking winter. So there's definitely events we'll be climbing the skating trail, once that comes on. So yeah, we'll be doing, you know, torchlight skates and different activities down there throughout the winter season, so.
I have a question for Brent. Brent, the plaza, is it hoped to be open for skating this winter?
I think we probably should revisit that question right there, because as we go through construction, because it would have to be fully complete to be able to do that. I'm not sure if that's in the cards right now at this point in time on the timeline for January, February this
Sure.
year. That'd be pretty aggressive at this point in time.
I just wondered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we still have 3 rinks? Adam McRae, Merrifield, Esposito?
Esposito, plus the oval and the skate track.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so.
There's nothing at further west than Merrifield.
We do have the sports hall of fame induction ceremony next.
Okay, thank you. Item number 7 on our agenda, correspondence.
No, just, I think I forwarded Susan a copy of the Green Sword. A lot of them are coming through or more advertisements at this point,
Right.
advertising different products and things, but.
Okay. And then item number 8, our next meeting, the first Tuesday in November is the 1st of November. So that will be our next meeting, hopefully.
The All Saints that day. Call me Saint Robert, I'll call you Saint D.
Okay. Well, item number 9, we're moving to adjournment. I need a mover to adjourn, please. Robert. And the seconder. Thanks, Chris.
All easy.
All in favor? Thank you, everyone.
Susan?
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Susan had to leave really short.
There's a chat, somebody wanted to chat, better take a look, what did the chat say?
How's it going, Paul?